I once heard somebody say, when you see chocolate bombs for sale and they're expensive, it's worth the money to pay it if you've ever tried to make them. But as I said, now I make them and they're very easy. But when I started, there wasn't enough money in the world for me to make all these chocolate bombs. And I have to tell you that I had trays and trays and trays of chocolate bombs that I made the year that they were so popular. But I had hundreds and hundreds of mistakes that nobody saw, and a lot of frustration that nobody heard about. Whoops. Well, we lost that one. Hi, my name is Barbara Kane, and welcome to Lady Kane's Kitchen. Today we're going to be making chocolate bombs. And because Easter is coming up, I thought it might be fun to not only make the traditional round bomb, but to make some chocolate bombs out of Easter eggs. So we are using real chocolate. It's been tempering. And I'm going to fill my entire cavity up. I like to fill them to the top, and then I will tip them over to empty them because we want to have a hollow shell. These are milk chocolate. Okay, and I'm going to keep filling this one up a little bit more because I want to be able to have that nice edge when I'm done. And this is going to be the outer shell for the chocolate bomb. And then I'm just going to let it sit in there for a little, just for about a minute, well, not even a minute, so that it thickens a little bit. And then I'm going to flop it up, turn it over, or flop it over, so that they will now become hollow. Okay, and I'm going to look and make sure everything is coated. I'd like to have a little bit more chocolate on the edge over here, so I'm going to do that now. It's very important that you have a nice clean edge so that you can put your shells together. And again, I'm filling them up to the top. And then I'm going to flip it over again. And I'm going to tap them. You can see the chocolate coming out. And this is how it looks. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my spatula and I'm just going to clean up the ends. I'm going to tap it again. I'm going to scrape it again. And then I'm going to take it and I'm going to turn it over onto a piece of, I use parchment paper, and that will go into the refrigerator. Now, to do the Easter eggs, it's basically the same thing. I have an Easter egg mold. This is a mold for hollow eggs. I can make solid eggs in here if I want, but I'm using these today for hollow eggs. And again, it's just the same process. It's filling them up. If you're using a paintbrush, as I said, they recommend that you paint 2 layers on. And one thing I have to say is that chocolate bombs take a lot of practice. So if they're fun to make, once you get the hang of it, but until you get used to it, it's a lot of work. And then a lot of frustration. You can have a lot of cracked shells, a lot of things that don't fit together, but it's like anything, it's trial and error. And again, I'm going to flip these over. And again, you can see the chocolate coming out. Again, I'm just going to scrape them. And I am going to refill them one more time. And I do this also for the thickness of the shell, because if the shell is too thin, obviously it cracks and it breaks. Now, with hollow Easter eggs, you don't have to make chocolate bombs out of them. I have some chocolate Easter eggs that I've put jelly beans in, I've put M&Ms in, put all kinds of different things in there so that when the kids open them, there's something besides chocolate. I like the hollow ones also because honestly, they're easier to eat And you're not giving your children a ton of chocolate at one sitting. Easter is filled with chocolate and excitement and lots of energy. So what I'm going to do now is, again, I'm going to flip this over and we're going to put these in the refrigerator. So when we're done, our shells will look like this. Sometimes they have rough edges, and if they do, I use a carrot peeler just to smooth off my edges. And then I try to see how well the egg fits together. Some eggs fit together better than others, so you may want to try different pieces to see where you get the best fit, because you want to have a closed seal, because if you don't, your stuff is going to fall out. I'm going to try a different one. Let's try a different one. This is sometimes where the fun begins. This might work. Let's see if this one's going to work. Let's see if this is long enough. And then the other thing is that what I do is I take a pot of water on a low temperature and I heat it up and I put a plate underneath it so that because you have to melt the edges. You take about a teaspoon of chocolate and put it in, and then take some marshmallows and put them in. This size Easter egg does not hold a tremendous amount of ingredients, but you know what? For the younger kids especially, it's perfect. Sometimes the other ones we find are too big for the kids. It's too much chocolate. And here what I'm doing is I'm melting this, but if you also notice I'm smoothing the bottom. And then I'm going to hold it together so that it seals itself. And then you can do all kinds of things with decorating these. You can take a paintbrush, and then what I like to do is I literally place it. And then here we have one of the Easter eggs. Now to do a chocolate bomb, we have the two shells, and you'll notice that there's quite a difference in size between this Easter egg. Now you can make larger Easter eggs. This is a larger shell. So this Easter egg obviously is going to hold a lot more if you want to do a chocolate bomb or fill it with candy. And again, I'm going to take my hot chocolate and I'm going to put it in the bottom. I'm going to put in some marshmallows. Whoops. And then for a little bit of fun, with this one, I'm going to add, maybe I'll add some M&Ms. So that way when it breaks apart, they'll have marshmallows and the chocolate and the M&Ms, which is always fun. And again, you can see the nice smooth edges here. And again, I'm going to take my chocolate and put that together, and then there we have a chocolate bomb. Now I have to tell you that this has taken me a long time to get to this point. I've had a lot of frustrations, a lot of breakage, and a lot of leakage because my seams didn't meet. So it's kind of like anything that you do, the more you do it, the better you get at doing it. And it's a lot of fun, and the kids absolutely love these. And what I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to decorate it a little differently. So with this one, I'm going to make a little bit more of a mess, so I am going to take out a tray or something to do it on. And then what I'm going to do, this seems to be together, is I'm going to drizzle this with chocolate and put this, and then I stick it in. It's probably going to have a lot of, well, that's going to be that didn't quite come out the way I wanted it to, but that's okay. The more sprinkles, the better as far as the kids are concerned. So the best thing to do would be to do this, which is what I did not do. Because that way you'll get you'll get more of a design. When I wrap them, these are some of the ways that I wrap them. They're placed in, I place them in a cupcake cup, and I put them in a bag. So they're all different ways that you can design these. And then one of the other things that I did, because it was Easter, was I made some little chocolate Easter bunnies. And you can make these chocolate bombs all in different shapes. This is another shape I didn't show you. A nut. And again, it's the idea that you put the chocolate bomb together and you put the chocolate in it. And here what I usually do is I put sprinkles around the top. And then it would go together like this. And you can make them with all different kinds of fillings. People get very, very creative. I tend not to, but that's my own choice. This is an Easter egg that I made that is, it's not as a chocolate bomb, but it's got M&Ms in it. You can hear them when they shake. And then this is another, this is a solid chocolate bunny. And then I made these little guys. Now these are in 2 pieces. So what I decided to do with these guys, to add a little fun, you have a front and you have a back. So what I did was I took some M&Ms. These are mini M&Ms, by the way. And I just placed a couple of them inside the rabbit. And then again, I heated this end. You don't have to do this, but and then you hold him for a minute so that he stays together. To add a little bit of interest to this bunny, I put on a little tail, and with other chocolate chips, I made eyes. And this is very easy to do. Again, it just takes a little bit of patience. See if we can do it. So what we're gonna do is we're going to take this a little bit of tweezers, or hold it on to the back of the bunny. So you have a little tail on your bunny. The other thing is your hands and your gloves get warm, and chocolate, as we know, melts. So often you may have to change your gloves, because if your gloves are warm, it's going to melt your chocolate and also make it more difficult for you to work. You know, when people ask why things are so expensive, besides the materials, as you can see, it takes a tremendous amount of time for all this, and hopefully some coordination. Let's see if I can do this. And there you have a little nose. And we're gonna make little eyes. And again, I'm melting the chips. And I'm using the chips as like paint here. It's fine if you can get them to stay on totally, but you don't have to worry if you can't. You can just use them for the color. And here we have the eyes. And what you can do if you want to be really creative, with one of these, I actually did the eyes, and then I took a little black cocoa butter and I put the little black spots on the eyes, or you can just leave them like this. There are times when your molds come out the minute you tap them. There are times that no matter what you do, you can't get the chocolate out of the mold. We're going to start with the Easter eggs. Oh, this came right out. So here, one of them, it dropped right out. And then I can pop that one right out. Pop this one right out. Whoa, success. How do you like that? And look how beautiful and shiny they are. And you can see again, they come out. The edges are not always smooth. Again, that's where you can take your carrot peeler and gently trim them. You don't want to trim them too much, because again, you want an edge that you're going to heat. Let's take some sprinkles. Let's take some M&Ms. Let's see if these tops are going to match. Now, I didn't trim this one, so it could be a problem, but let's see. Heat this up. And there. These edges have to be trimmed. Those are the edges I was talking about. But again, you can drizzle chocolate on it. You could leave it like that. You can take some sprinkles and put them on. You can place things with, take some of these little, some of the sprinkles have these little balls in them. You can take those and just place them on. We're also going to unmold our chocolate bombs. Whoop. Right out of the mold. I picked it up, they came right out. That's perfect. I couldn't have asked for anything better. It does not always happen like that. And again, you can see that they have the edges. Make sure your edges are clean so that your chocolate will adhere. And then we have another chocolate bomb to decorate however you'd like, or not decorate it at all. So now what we're going to do is we're going to pour the water over the chocolate bomb. You can use this with water, or you can use it with milk. We're using water today because I have heated water right here. So the first thing you do is to drop the chocolate bomb into the cup. Okay, this is when the magic is supposed to happen, ladies and gentlemen, so let's see what happens. And there you have your chocolate bomb, and you could add more marshmallows to it. I'd mix it up because there's a lot of chocolate and a lot of it happens to be at this point on the bottom. And again, you do the same thing with the Easter egg. Just drop it in and pour water over it. And it's best to aim the water over one spot because the idea is to melt the chocolate so that it pops open. If it doesn't pop open, then just take a spoon and stir it and it will open the rest of the way. So I hope you try this at home. If you have any questions, let me know. It's a lot of fun. So try them at home. If they don't work out, try it again. But whatever you do, have a good time. Thank you for joining us in Lady Kane's Kitchen. I look forward to seeing you next month.